Hi all. Today let's see what is the trusted type API and how we can use them to prevent XSS attack in our web application. So first let us see what is XSS or cross-site scripting. This is a kind of attack which makes use of injection of malicious scripts in such a way that they will be able to access our cookies, the session token, and even modify our own DOM of the web page. There can be different types of XSS attacks. This can be categorized into mainly three categories. One is the stored, reflected, and the DOM XSS. So out of this, the stored and reflected attacks happen from the server, and the DOM XSS purely happens at the client side. So now let's focus on the DOM XSS, and for this purpose I have created an Angular 12 application. So inside this I have an app component and also app component.html. So here I have added a placeholder div. Now let's explore what all ways we can actually inject code into our application. So here I have provided an input text box. So I have bound the property input data to the ng model of this text box, and I have also added a button called add DOM, and on the click of the button I have added an add DOM method. So inside the add DOM method what I am doing is I am getting the reference to the placeholder div, and I am setting the inner HTML directly to the ng model data input data. So now let's try to enter some malicious code into our input text box. So what I am adding is basically an image tag which has a invalid source. So this will result in an error, and when the error happens it will execute the on error handler and it will call this malicious JavaScript code. So now let's copy this and put it in our application. So I have added it in the input box and I am clicking add DOM. So now you can see that actually the JavaScript code executed. So this is one way in which you can execute DOM accesses. So you saw that the inner HTML and similarly the outer HTML APIs which are accessible in the DOM, these are not safe for direct access. So let's explore another method in which we can inject malicious code. So this is through the script tag. So here what I am doing is I am creating a element of TypeScript and I am adding the text content. So here this is actually an inline script. So basically in between the script tags I am adding the input data which the user has entered, and then I am adding appending it to the head of the document. So this is the data which I am adding, that just a alert. And now let's add this to the DOM. So now you can see that when the script tag is created in the document, it also executes the JavaScript inside the text content. So this is another way in which we can inject malicious code. Another way in which malicious code can be injected to our application is through external scripts. So let's comment this inline script and I am adding this code. So basically again I am doing the same thing. I am creating a script element, and then instead of assigning to the text content, I am assigning the data to the source. So what I am going to enter is a URL. So this is an external application URL. So here what I have done is I have created a JS file called attack.js, and here I am trying to set the inner HTML of the my actual website. So now we can check whether the remote JS will be able to access our DOM. So I am copying this and let's go to our application, and actually I am giving the URL as an input. Now when I click add DOM, you can see that the DOM of my application got modified through the external JS. So you can see that once the external JS is loaded in memory, it does not differentiate between whether it is from the same origin or not. Another way in which malicious code can be executed in our application is when we use runtime compilation. So let's comment this and add the eval statement. So the eval can be used for evaluating text data in the runtime, and eventually it will convert it into JavaScript and execute it. So now here I am passing this data as a text to the input. Now what happens is eval will convert this into JavaScript and execute it. So now you can see that it has executed. Another dangerous method is the set timeout or the set interval API. So usually we will be passing a callback function to this APIs. So in that case it's fine, but it also supports another format in which you can pass a string to the API. So this works similar to the eval. What it does is it evaluates the string and it converts into JavaScript code and executes it. So here if you check this, again I am copying this string and I'm passing it to the set timeout. So you can see that it converts it into JavaScript and executes the code. So we have explored most of the potential dangerous statements which can cause excesses or act as sinks in our application. So now let's see whether is there any way we can detect these sinks. So let's uncomment all these statements, and there is an ESLint rule called there's a plugin actually, ESLint plugin no unsanitized. So we can add this to the ESLint rules. So here I am adding this here. Now let's see whether any of these statements are getting detected. So here you can see that the inner HTML statement actually it is getting detected by this ESLint rule. So you can see that the ESLint rule only covers very minimal cases like the inner HTML and the outer HTML, and also certain methods like document.write. So other than that, most of these are not detected. In order to find all the XSS sinks in our application, there is an option called Content Security Policy. So this is basically an HTTP header which we can add in our application. So inside our ng-serve, I am adding this header. So inside the options, I am giving Content Security Policy. So it will add this header, and inside that the directive is required trusted types for script. So basically it means that it will not evaluate any string data which will be passed as a JavaScript. So I can define some certain trusted types. So only those can be considered to be safe and will be bound to the actual application. So now let's restart our application. So now the application is restarted. Now let's go to the main.ts, and here I am adding an event listener for the security policy violation event, and whenever that happens I am logging it to the console. So now let's go to our application and let's copy the sample data. So I am attaching the inner HTML. So when I try to execute that, you can see that an error is thrown which says that the trusted HTML is required, and it will actually break the application. And also, since we added the listener to the security policy violation, so here you can see the details of the exception, like where the exception happened, the sample data, and all those details can be seen. And here if you click, it will take you to the exact line where the error happened. So there is a milder version of this content security policy. So here as you see, the application itself was stopped. Now in order to just report the error, we can add this header, content security policy report only. So now what will happen is the application will not break, but only it will report the violations. So now again the application is restarted, and now if we go and give the input, you can see that the actual code got executed, but the violation is getting reported here in a report only mode, and the same details will be displayed here. So now let's see how we can create trusted types. So trusted type is an API that is introduced in JavaScript. So this is currently supported mostly in any browser that uses Chromium. So now let's see how we can add that. So by default, TypeScript does not support typings for the trusted types. So what I have done is I have added this particular types, trusted types, and I have installed it, and also in the tsconfig, in the tsconfig app, I have added the trusted types in the types array. So if you don't do this, you will not be able to access the type. So now inside the trusted service, inside the constructor, I am injecting the DOM sanitizer. So DOM sanitizer is a sanitizer which is available within Angular itself. So you inside the constructor, I am going to create trusted type. Check whether the trusted type is available. So you can see I am checking that, and inside that there is a method called create policy. So I will just add a if check whether these are available, and in case it is available, I will be creating a policy. So into dot trusted types dot create policy. Inside that we can give the policy name. So I am giving my escape policy, and after that we can give the policy options. So there are three methods which we need to create. One is the create HTML. So this is mainly the policy for the HTML tags. So here you can pass any method, like you can return. So what I am doing is I am calling the DOM sanitizer, this dot DOM sanitizer dot sanitize whatever string is getting passed into the create HTML. So here what we can set is a security context. So since it is HTML, we need to set the context. Otherwise, if we give none or any other things, it will try to sanitize the other context. So it will not be working. So we need to pass the HTML itself. And now it's showing there that it can be null. So we are setting is not null. Similarly, we have the create script. So here again, we can use the same thing, but you need to set the context different. So that's the script context, and again you have the create script URL. So again you need to change the context and set it as resource URL or URL. So the create policy actually returns something called the trusted type policy. So here initially we will define a property custom trusted policy. Is of the type trusted type policy, and we will assign the return value to this property. So now we will inject this trusted service inside our app component. So I am injecting it. Trusted service, and I will pass the value, the trusted service dot create custom policy dot create HTML. So to this method I'll pass the input data, and now let's see what happens. So it is showing like you cannot assign the trusted HTML to a string. So this is because by default the typings of the inner HTML supports only string. So this is not yet updated in the TypeScript. So we have to give it as any. So still now the warning is shown. This is due to the ESLint. So I am temporarily disabling that. So now the error is gone. Now our application is refreshed. Now let's try pasting this code. So now you can see that there is a warning that some of the HTML got stripped away due to sanitization. So now if we go to the div, the placeholder, you can see that the actual dangerous code has been stripped away, and also the JavaScript did not execute. So this is how we can create trusted types in JavaScript. So by default Angular provides some trusted types. So one common way in which you can bind the inner HTML is using the inner HTML directive. So here I am assigning the input data. So now let's refresh our application and let's try the same method. So here when I assigned the value, the ng model, you can see that actually the pop-up did not come, and if you check the placeholder you can see that the string actually got sanitized. So the actually dangerous JavaScript is removed by default. So whatever is bound to the template actually it will be sanitized. So it is always safe to use the inner HTML directive. And another way is the DOM sanitizer which we saw earlier, but there is actually a way in which you can bypass the security. So here what I am doing is I am defining a variable called trusted data and I am assigning it here. Now the DOM sanitizer actually provides another method. So let me inject the DOM sanitizer here. Sanitizer. So actually you can mark certain HTML as trusted. So here you can see something called bypass security trust HTML. So in some cases you might be doing this bypass security. So here you can pass the input data, and instead of assigning it here I will be assigning to the trusted data. So now what happens is I am actually informing Angular that this data whatever is coming from the user it is safe HTML and no need to sanitize it, and I am marking it as safe HTML and I am binding it to the inner HTML. So now what will happen is again I will pass the dangerous code. So now you can see that since I marked this HTML as safe, Angular does not sanitize it and the actual access happens. So in order to prevent this, what we can do is actually Angular creates trusted types within itself. So you can define the trusted types which you are allowing. So the default one, that is Angular. So if you define Angular, what will happen is all the bypass methods, these will not be allowed. So in case now I restart the application. So now the application is restarted and the page is refreshed. So initially itself you can see that one error is that the my escape policy which I did not allow in the trusted types. So here I gave only Angular. So when I try to create a new trusted type policy, it will show the error that the allowed one is only Angular and I cannot create a new one. So that is one error. And now when I try to inject the code, you can see that another error is created. Like, even though I mark the HTML as safe, you can see that it is saying the Angular hash unsafe bypass. So this is another trusted type which is inbuilt in Angular that allows the bypass trusted HTML. So since we have restricted that, it will create a security policy violation. Now in order to allow my escape policy, I will go to the Angular JSON and add this. So now when I restart the application, I will be able to run my trusted type. So now the application is restarted, and when I refresh the application, you can see that there is no error for the my escape policy and the remaining things work as expected. So there is another option for the trusted type which is inbuilt in Angular called the JIT mode. So once you allow that, the application will be allowed to run in JIT mode without any security check. So these are the three inbuilt trusted types available in Angular. So hope you are able to get a good idea about how to create trusted types in JavaScript as well as how to use them in Angular. See you soon. Thank you.